Just say thank you so very much. Guys, we have a US Today best-selling author, well over 100 in her catalog, okay? She has
Yes.
been spitting out fire for at least 10 years.
10 years,
At
yes.
least 10 years. And she puts this spin on her craft, calling it a little edgy, but we're going to find out. We're going to get into all of that. Guys, I am so excited to introduce to you author Casey Mills. If you don't know her, you're going to find out tonight, baby. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for
Welcome.
having
And
me.
it's so great to see so many authors have joined us to come and check you out. I love that authors come and support others in this literary community. I find that to be so amazing.
Yes, listen, we are one band, one sound. We all just trying to make it out here. We are supporting each other.
That is beautiful. And I hope tonight that there is the questions that I have will help those who are aspiring authors, new that's maybe struggling in a little area. Because listen, we tapping into some wisdom here. Okay,
Yes.
this is season over 10 years, y'all. 10 years in the game, and she has some stuff to spill. Trust me. Trust me.
Thank you.
Trust me.
Thank
Trust
you.
me. Thank you again. So we're going to just jump right in. You are, there's this quote that I picked up, or I was doing some research and work. And, I've had the privilege of arcing some of your works. I'm very familiar with
Yes.
your pen, very familiar. But you say, I'm just a girl who's in love with love because of
Because the
the
way I'm
way
loved.
you love. Talk to us about that, girl. Just spread a little bit of this holiday joy with this love you're talking about.
So for me, I mean, a lot of people know and a lot of people don't. I've been married for 30 years. And that comes with a lot,
Okay.
ebbs and flows. It's work. It's work. But through it all, the way that man loves me,
Come on now.
it keeps me grounded. It allows me to be in this space. It allows me to give you guys a version of myself that is just so beautiful. And like the words say, I'm in love with love because of the way that I'm loved. And so I'm a romance girly. All of my stories are going to have a layer of that.
And this, one would say, I mean, I feel compelled to say that a lot of this that you write is literally inspired by the life that you live.
Yes, yes,
Isn't that
absolutely.
beautiful? We always say fiction is real. It's real somewhere, but we're getting bits and pieces with a little twist. So
Yes, absolutely.
again, thank you. Thank you. We have a reader in here who I absolutely love and adore, Alicia. And she just went through your catalog and she's like, oh my God, so excited. I just finished some more of her work. She just finished reading Damage.
Oh, okay.
And so I thank you for joining us, Alicia. But it is really, really great to know that 100 books and you still got that pen spinning. You
Yes.
have some work still coming from all of this. You never run out, and you've inspired so many others. Tell
Yes.
me in 3 words, if a person truly was not familiar with your work, how would you describe the reading experience of a Casey Mill book?
Layered,
Mm.
emotional, and relatable.
Ooh, I like that one. I like relatable. I think when we talk about Black love, it's always a word. I think that's why we choose it, right? Like
Yes,
the
absolutely.
whole idea of reading about us, from us, it connects different. And when people ask, well, why it has to be all Black? Because that's me. I'm all Black.
And we've had this conversation many times on many platforms and many spaces. And for me, it's all I know. So I write what I know. I was born in it. My children were born in it. I live in it daily. And it's just so dang beautiful.
It is. I've witnessed it, and having you and your family come to events that I've seen you at, having them work with you, it is truly beautiful. You and a lot of your colleagues, when I see your spouses, it's like, that's what I'm talking about, right? That's
Yes.
exactly what I'm talking about. Your books feature some strong yet complex characters. I'm talking. Sometimes you got to get kidnapped. Sometimes I gotta tie you up. Sometimes, it's we gonna go on this emotional roller coaster. But what
Exactly.
part of creating these characters that we end up falling in love with, calling them our babes and our booties, would you say has been the most enjoyable process for you?
I would probably say just um giving you different versions of all of those things that you just said. You have these dominant alpha men who love so strong and so hard, dating those men. I think that's the most exciting part of it, to see how many ways I can flip that and give you a different version of that prototype.
And I think you have truly done that. It's like I sit back and read. I remember when Allegra and I was reading your work, and we were like, baby, where's she coming up with these men? Like, look, are they available on Amazon?
Listen, if we could bottle them and market it.
That's the part. It's like, where do we collect them? Let me ask you, you talk about crafting romance with edge. Why is that important to you? And to showcase this all shades of brown that you speak of. Talk to us about that. What's the importance of you delivering that, and how can the readers expect to find that in the work that you present?
So the edginess is a lot of different things. Sometimes it's the urban layers and aspects
Mm,
of it. You have these very complex, well-rounded but rugged men.
mm,
But then the other part of it, even in my romance and my softer works, are the ebbs and flows, because nothing is perfect, and you have to go through these situations, and sometimes they're complicated, and sometimes it's rough, and sometimes you're frustrated, and sometimes it just really pushes your limits, but it's still beautiful. And so that's the edginess of it, because emotions are edgy, like emotions are all over the place. Sometimes you go on these journeys within self, with your family, with your friends, and you get all of that, all the
mhm,
feels, as we say. So the edginess is sometimes the aspects that come in it, the urban edge, but
mhm.
sometimes it's just those ebbs and flows of life.
Right, right. Do you find any time is you started with one of these characters and it's like we were on the road, and then now you done frustrated me and I can't finish.
Oh my God, yes. And so as creatives, and I know you talk to authors quite often, we
Mhm.
are the vessel, right? So
Yeah,
these characters, they come to us and we build them, or so we think.
so you think.
But they come to us and they're talking to us and they're saying, this is who I am, this is who I want to be, this is where I'm going. And so we start writing, and I'm not a person who outlines. I'm a free writer, so I never really know who these characters are. But even for those that truly outline, you start one place with those
Mhm.
characters, and then you think, oh, this is what it's going to be. And they're like,
Right,
no, that's not what it's going to be.
right.
And so we have knockdown dragouts with these characters, and they win. They win all the time. So what we think we know is never truly it. So yeah, it's fun. It's fun, and you have to almost like you're telling a line of sanity. You have to let go and let these
Mhm.
characters be who they are. You have to tap into that in order to reach that level of creativity. So
Yeah.
we're creators, we're a little off.
Yes, yes. Well, I appreciate it because to me, I think that's where it draws out that authenticity, of your style, of,
Right.
the way you're receiving it. Because it's like that point of view, the way it might be delivered to somebody else. And that's
It's
what
going to be
kind of makes
different.
it, yes, it
Yeah.
makes it pop. Um, I want to talk about this 10 years, 10 years in the game, 10 years.
Yes.
I am absolutely certain you have some challenges. You've had some celebrations because I've seen quite a few of them. But talk to me about the inspiration. Why the pen? 10 years ago, what made you pick up the pen and start writing?
I honestly, I was, my journey is not traditional. So I was never that person. And I've written things my entire life, poetry, short stories, stuff like that as a kid in high school. But I was never, oh, I want to be an author. I'm going to be an author. So my journey is not traditional.
Mm-hmm.
We lived, I'm from Georgia. So we lived in Lee County, Georgia, which is Albany, Georgia, if people know that. Small town, predominantly white. And, we have our daughter, and she did not get to see or experience what life looked like to be this beautiful black girl, um at school and in the community. So I gave that to her in books. I wrote books about freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year, and I wrote them for her and gave her that experience of you know what it looks like for us, what it should look like for us.
Right.
And she loved those books. And that was the first time I ever wrote a full length book. And after I wrote that, I said, well, shoot, what else can I do? And I, penned my first novel. I turned it in. I quit my job and I said, oh, this is what I'm going to do. And I got, a lot of crazy looks, but it worked.
Now
And
you were
that
in
was my
corporate
journey.
America, right?
I absolutely was. And
And
my husband said, we got bills, so we can try this. He's very supportive. And he's like, if this is what you want to. Now, mind you, imagine this man saying, and I come to him and I've never in my life said, and I've read books constantly. He would always buy me books. We'd go to the bookstores, and I'd love Ed McKay's, which is like used books, and spend hours in there. Read a lot of books all the time,
Mhm,
constantly had
mhm.
books. Never in my life did I say I want to write them. So imagine when I presented this to him and said, oh, well, I'm going to quit my job and write books. You what?
Come again?
So, yeah, right. But he
Let's
was
pray
very
about this.
supportive. Right. There you go. But he was very supportive. And he said, if this is what you want to do, we'll try it. Now, mind you, if it does not work, please understand you're going back into corporate America because we got kids and bills. So,
Okay,
but
that
he
part.
carried us. Yeah, he carried us. He handled everything. He made sure we were good so that I could try this, and it worked.
That's exactly what love looks like, support, right?
Yes,
It looks like letting
absolutely.
me live my dreams and carrying me for a little while if need be. I
Yes,
so adore that. I admire that. You said you penned books for your daughter. Did you
I
publish
did.
those?
I did not. And I may publish them one day. That's where I got my start was YA. So it's kind of funny from there to what you read my work, from there to now. It's like
Exactly.
two different ends
Like
of
when you
the
say you
spectrum.
penned for your daughter, and I'm like, so she
Yeah,
penning in another
no.
name somewhere around here in these streets, and we don't know nothing about it. And they got kid stories out here because we learned that last 2 weeks ago with Brenda Jackson. That she was like, "Hey, my grandkids are gonna read this. I can't have them thinking they can read my work.
Yes.
So hey, we might need you to publish them books so our kids can
And I may
read."
do that one day. I truly may do it. I'm torn because I don't want to do another pen name, mostly because I'm lazy and I don't want to have to promote another pen name. But then I don't know if I could have those two things attached. So I'll have to really do a deep dive and think about if I want to do that. We'll see how that goes.
One of our readers and your fans is saying, we love Uncle Mills, love seeing him help you at the events. I said that from the beginning. And when I see hubby is like in the house, and when you attend these events, especially in the love and a lot of other events, as you see Casey Mills there, you see family there. You
Yes.
see what her love really looks like.
Listen, I cannot do it without them. And they're at the events and, start to finish and stuff like that. But the behind the scenes, because, and I am hybrid, so I do have traditional, but my indie work is what pays the bills. And so
Mhm.
we're at home, we got assembly lines packing books and, he's walking around with his little checklist, and, the support is so beautiful. And I love to see that with my pen sisters as well. There's a community of us
Yes,
that truly have that support system. And when
yes.
I say don't talk trash about, this Black book community, because we have
Okay.
that support. Like
And
they're showing
show
up for
up
us.
exactly and showing up. A Tara was like, "Did you see Casey?" And I'm like, your son is like the photographer behind the scenes. He's capturing these long lines and
Yes,
how everybody is
yes.
showing up for you. I know they probably are like, "Mom, just so proud of you. Like you did this."
What's
It's
so
so.
funny is they don't even really process it.
Mhm.
Because I'm just mom. You know what I'm
Oh, they
saying?
don't
Like
see
for
you, but
them,
you're a star.
they don't even. They're like, mm-mm, I don't care what you do out there, but we're at home. Like so,
Okay.
for them it doesn't matter. Like they don't even process that. They're like, yeah, it's whatever.
You have successfully navigated all of these different genres. And this is going to be two questions because one, I want to know, at what point do you flip the switch? But even more, is there a genre you've not gotten to that you're really curious about trying to pen?
um I have some things I want to write, but I don't. I have to decide if I can write it. And because I feel I can write anything, but in certain spaces, certain readers are like, you didn't do that right. And as
Oh,
much as they love you, they're gonna be like, I love you, girl, but that ain't for you. So there are some things I do want to write. But I just have to figure out if I can write it. So I do want to try dark romance. And
I think
as
you
of
got that.
I think I can do it,
You
but
don't think
as of
that kidnapping was
recently,
a little dark? My girl
well,
got
and this is the
kidnapped.
thing
She
though,
got put in the
people,
house.
right? And see, this is the thing, people don't even really understand what dark romance is.
Talk to us.
The dark romance is the psychological aspect, the power shift, the push and pull. It's more so that and how you navigate that. So dark romance is not just a lot of people push it into erotica. They think it's just erotica, it's this, it's that. And
Mhm.
it's really not. It's the power
Mhm.
shifts, it's the control and on what level you choose to, write it. It could be a physical thing, it could be the mental manipulation. So it's those things. So I want to try it. We'll see what happens. I may or may not do it. But I also want to write a poly. I don't know why, but that is
Oh,
on my brain. I really want to
come
do
on
it.
now. I want to encourage that.
Listen, I
Beta,
just want to try
volunteer.
it.
Listen, we got author T. Lynn in the audience and author Josh in the love, aka we
Hey,
got author Charity.
ladies.
They like, baby, you can pin it. They just listen. They gave their stamp of approval to
Listen,
say you
the
can
one the
definitely
ones
build it.
that you just named are very biased. So
Ah!
I'm gonna need some of them outside folks to come in and say.
Oh, shucky ducky now. Listen, over 5,000, maybe 6,000 reviews on these books at a time. Sis, I think you can pin it. I think you got
we
the
gonna
support you
see.
need.
We gonna see. We gonna see.
There is no doubt. Listen, I told you, volunteer beta over here, especially for college. Dark romance, I absolutely enjoy. I love a little crazy and
Yes.
power, but I like a little twist of crazy.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
to me,
Because
the
you have to
erotica.
be a little crazy in order to function in that space. Like you can't, you gotta kind of push boundaries in order to function in that dark romance space. for the characters and then for the person crafting it. So I gotta get my weight up and make sure I'm ready for that.
Listen, Arthur, what is that? T-Nab, Arthur, yeah, am I saying Tanab? Am I saying that correctly? And if I'm mispronouncing, I apologize. She says, you could pen a dark poly romance, girl. That's it. Yes,
That look, that's
that's
interesting.
it.
That's interesting. I
That's
think
it.
that might be an interesting space to like, knock them both out at the same time.
Y'all, I, listen.
Listen, and then everybody gonna
Kennedy,
be
thank you for
messaging me.
correcting me.
Listen,
Thank
and
you,
everybody gonna be messaging me talking about, girl, where that dark poly at?
baby. I- And yeah, y'all, we got a mission, okay? We know our job now, right? We know our the goal for 2026. Okay, Casey
Oh, can we
Mills,
push that out to 27?
put it in the street,
27?
y'all. Just put it in the
Okay.
air, and we might get this rolling. The DM's Diamond is in the house. My sisters Allegra and Tara have joined us tonight. Again, I want to thank everybody for showing up. So if y'all are late, you may learn a little later, but we're working on getting some poly dark romance from
Some
Casey
poly
Mills.
dark
That's very
romance.
important. Hold on to that piece of information. You have been a speaker at major events. You have shown up. You've gotten awards. You have been acknowledged as a USA Today bestseller.
Yes.
That tells us you're an expert at writing. You're an expert at this thing. First off, so I don't believe there's anything you can accomplish when it comes to this writing thing. But let's talk about the business piece of it. You
Okay.
know, a lot of people forget that being an author comes with the aspect of the expectancy of business practices, right?
Yes.
And you have background in corporate America, so you know how it can get out here. Talk to our new, aspiring, and current authors that may be struggling in this aspect. What is the single best piece of advice that you can share about the business authorship, not just writing?
The business, understanding that you are a business. And
That is it.
that is the thing. A lot of, if you're not brick and mortar, sometimes people are laxed about business practices and they don't view others or themselves as an entity. You are a business and everything you do is your brand.
Mm.
So I am a business. My product are my books. And so it's so important to always consider that in how I navigate and how I move and certain things. And nothing, and I mean nothing, no one moment is more important than that brand and the business.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
you have to be professional, you have to be understanding. And truthfully, as a business, you don't really have the, especially we're considered a small business as authors
Yeah.
because of how we function. You don't have the flexibility or the option to get it wrong, because sometimes when that one chance is all you get, right? And so you cannot take for granted your customer service skills. You cannot take for granted, how you present yourself, how you show up, the things that you say. And no one thing, no one moment, no one second is more important than the thing, the big thing, how you
Mhm.
navigate and move in the future and things of that nature. Because people don't forgive, especially not in these times, they don't forgive. So I say
Mhm.
most
Mhm.
importantly, understand that you are a business, because first and foremost, if you only have the knowledge of understanding that you are a business on a small scale, at least you
Mhm.
show up professionally and you show
Right.
up
Right.
with the
Right.
right mindset. But then you also can take the time to navigate researching what that means to be a business. And
Mhm.
it's as simple as the definition sometimes. If you look up the definition of a
Mhm.
business and go with those key points, bullet points as to what a business is and the responsibility you hold as a business, then that helps. But first and foremost, I'd say that, because you cannot just say, oh, I'm an author, it doesn't matter. I have the right to say this, I have the right to say that. And I'm long winded about that because it's very important to me. Like, even with my publishing house and with my authors out the gate. I'm like, I don't care what you think, feel, or believe. You are an adult. You can do certain things. You can say what you
Mhm.
want. But when it all
Mhm.
comes down to it, you are a business. You are a brand. Your brand represents my brand. So
Right, right.
we gotta think about that day in, day out. Now, what you do in your personal life, and that's different. But so I would say the most important thing before you even navigate this is consider whether or not you can separate yourself to understand that I am not about to say my government name. I am not Keisha Mills anymore. I am Casey Mills, which is the
Okay.
brand.
Yeah. And this was so important receiving this message from you because we know your hands have touched a little bit of everything, like you said, your publishing company, right? In addition to your books. And there you've mentored so many others. You've given so much to this literary world. And we're so appreciative of that. That's why I thought it was really important that you gave that piece of advice, especially to readers, because you're the product, right? You're the product of
Yeah.
success in this arena. 10 years, y'all. Don't forget that. 10 years.
And I'm
Yeah,
still learning and growing. Every
that's
day
it.
is a lesson. I'm
That's
a
it.
student of life. I will never, ever, ever, ever approach you and say in a space and say I have it all figured out, because I don't. I'm
Mm-hmm.
still learning and growing every day. I'm a student of life. I'm still learning and growing. And a lot of stuff I may have started with, I was like, "Ooh, that's not really the way to do it. So let's try this." But I'm also mature enough to admit that everything doesn't work, and sometimes I get it wrong. And if I get it wrong, I have no problem saying, "Look, I really messed that up. Let's try
Okay.
this." Because maturity is being able to say, I messed that up.
Right.
This maybe let's try something else, or what you have or what you're saying works better.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you can't do that, then it's not for you. And
I
that's
w-
in life, not just with this. That's just in
exactly.
life.
It definitely is. I wanted to ask, I hear a lot of authors say that their biggest struggle is the marketing, right?
Mhm.
What do you say to that with reference to the how? And being resourceful, basically understanding it's necessary because word of mouth works, but sometimes it's nice. Like I've literally have had people to jump into BSB's emails, send us, and I'm like, hey, girl, congratulations, like that's big time, right? But
Yeah.
how do you speak to marketing when that's something people really fear? Because it's like, how do I talk about myself?
Uh, so this is, and I know some of my authors are on here, and I'm gonna do as I say, not as I do, because I'm horrible with marketing. Horrible. I know what to do. I just, like you said, it's hard, it's frustrating, and I write so much. Like I'm in my bubble all the time. I just literally cannot process getting out there to talk about myself or my work. I'm also an empath. So if I see stuff, I'm like, oh, dang. And I'm like, why am I sad today? Oh, that's right. I saw this post where so and so was sad, or so and
Mm-hmm.
so's mad, or somebody's attacking this person, or whatever. So I absorb all that. Then I have to sit in it. And then that's time and days away from my writing because I got to kind of work myself out of it. So for marketing, I'm going to do as I say, not as I do. But the biggest thing is you just have to believe in your product. You have to
Mm-hmm.
believe in what you write. And you cannot do that if you don't pour your heart and soul into it. So you can't just write for the sake of writing. You can't write just to get a check. Do you want a check? Yes, you
That
do.
part.
But the passion will bring the check, So
Okay.
you have to write for the passion. You have to be rooted in that creative space in order for you to get to the next stage. So you can't start with, I'm going to come out here and write books to make money. You won't. You'll fail every single time. You will not survive in that space. So you have to be
Mhm.
connected to the passion, but you literally just have to believe in your product. You have to know your product because you have to know who you're marketing to. That's the first step. I can't put a Christian book in an urban space. It's gonna fail.
It is highly not recommended, okay?
Is highly recommended. So you have to know what you're marketing. You have to believe in your product. You have to know what you're marketing. You have to know who you're marketing to. And in knowing what you're marketing and who you're marketing to, you have to know what that customer's expectation is, what they're looking for.
Yeah.
And you have to appeal to those things. If you're writing a slow burn, you can't put, because there's different kind of books you can write. You can write a
Yeah.
book that's fast paced for entertainment. You're just there for the ride and the experience. Then you have some books where you want in depth, every detail, you want all the little things. Those are two different spaces and two
Yeah.
different lanes. So if you're marketing, oh my God, this is a slow burn, I've built the world, I've done this, those fast paced entertainment people are gonna be like, next, I don't want that.
Okay. Period.
So you have to know what the product is. You have to know what you're marketing and to who. So things of that nature. But ultimately, you just have to be out there. That's
Yeah.
literally what it is. Set up posts to come out so that you don't have to be out there a lot, but you also have to be out there a little bit because you have to
Mhm.
see what everybody else is doing and know what the trends are. Doesn't mean copy them or any of that thing, but you have to know what's out there so that you can know how you personally can fit in that space. Because if you don't know what
Absolutely.
the space is, you don't know how you personally can fit in that space.
Absolutely. And that's some great advice. I want to talk about the fact that you are a independent author, but you're also dipping in traditionally publishing
Yes.
books as well. What are the key differences or lessons that you've learned and that you can share with aspiring authors in this literary world, this community that they can benefit from?
The biggest lesson I learned is your IP is your IP, your intellectual property, what you write. Your IP is your IP, and you can't trust it to anyone other than yourself in order
Mhm.
to be your biggest advocate. So you can be with a publisher and you can have, their support and their reach and all of that stuff, but ultimately the only person who can truly, truly sell your IP is you. So you still have to show up. Your voice has to be attached to it. Your face has to be attached to it. Your marketing has to be attached to it because it's still your work. And so those two things align with independent and traditional pub. I worked just as hard and probably harder to
Mhm.
promote my traditional published stuff.
Really?
Than I do with my independent. And people think this magical thing happens where it's just out there in the world. And sure, they put it out there, but you got to think these publishers have thousands of authors. And, per se, our Christmas book released in out of Kensington, I'm going to say probably 8 books released the same day from the same
Mhm.
publishing house.
Mhm.
I then have to go promote my work because they have these other authors. So you work just as hard or sometimes harder to promote it. But so that was the biggest lesson, just understanding that my IP is still my IP. And also too that the readership is split because there's this
Mhm.
big thing about, oh, this is a traditionally published book and this is an independent book. I'm going to go read this traditional because it's traditionally published. It's still a
Mhm.
Casey Bill's book.
Right.
So
Right.
if you can read that, you can read all of my independent stuff. And
Guilty.
sometimes the independent stuff is that much better because
Yes.
I'm free to write and
Yes.
say what I want, how I want it without those parameters of being put in this box of what's safe.
Yeah.
Um, so I just, that was another thing, the shock of having readers that are split like that to where they'll only read traditional pub and some only read independent. So
Right.
I'm, having my work out there and I'm expecting the same support. And some
Mhm.
people say, oh, that's your traditional pub. I'm not reading that. I'm gonna read this indie stuff because there's this
Mhm.
thing about what the traditional publish is, but it's still a Casey Mills book.
Didn't I tell y'all I was gonna get some gems tonight? Did I not tell y'all it was going down tonight? I had no doubt that you would deliver just what a lot of authors, because and that's what's key for us, knowing that in this community how we can support you guys, right?
Yeah.
And knowing how it impacts you in your reviews and things of that nature. Because we can only say so much, but we have the Casey Mills, the Indie Love, the Love Velv, and the CCJs that's
Yes.
all educating us on the importance of our role in this community if we want to use these platforms, you know? And I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Um, and crafting such realistic, flawed characters, right? What is a piece of research that you were like, you came up on and it really just kind of, can I really write that? Like, it was so funny. I remember an author saying, I think I would get into a lot of trouble if they ever saw what my search engine looks like with
Oh
something
my God, yes.
research. What
Listen, I
what
think that's
what is that
all of
like for
us.
you?
Well, I think that's all of us because, like, and it really depends on what I'm writing too. Especially when I'm in my urban bag, like
Hmm.
I'm trying to figure out, how much money I can get off a kilo. I'm trying to figure out how to fix a silencer. I'm like, can you shoot in a crowd and blah 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 whatever. Like all of these things. How do you embezzle from company? Like just rant the most rant. How like what type of drugs can you put in somebody's drink to kill them and it's not detectable? Like the
Oh,
weirdest stuff.
I would
Like
be
I
like,
it just
"Oof, out."
listen, I promise, like there are times when I'm like pending what I'm writing. I'm waiting for the feds to come kick the door in so I can be like, I'm just an author. But
That
it just,
part.
it so we research everything. I'm an avid researcher too. Like I research to exhaustion, sometimes for one sentence to be in the book. A
Okay.
100,000 words, and I research something just for one. But the way my mind works, I have to understand it to write it, even if it doesn't actually show up on page. I need to understand how a person in a certain field or space or doing a certain thing would process what they're doing.
Hmm.
So I research to exhaustion, like, and there's sometimes stuff just doesn't even end up in the book, but I understand how it works so I
And that's
can write it.
key, especially to readers who are familiar with what you're writing, right?
Right.
Whether
Yes.
or a drug dealer, what it does not matter what it is that
Right.
they're doing. What matters is that it makes sense because
Makes
that's where
sense.
the interest really kind of comes from with us to read. I want to share some of these comments in here. And
Oh, I'm scared.
Tara's been talking about her bag. She wanted me, which she was late. She must have been late. Tara, you were late, okay? Because we talked about that. And she says she's on book two and she's reading it because it's an audio book. So that's another question we have coming up too. Of
Okay.
course, we have DM's Diamonds in here. We're following the Mills Brilliance everywhere it is. And then Miss Fancy Reed says, you can get all my money no matter how that book comes out. I know that's right, girl. Um, okay, Arthur Wilson says, be wanting to add for research purposes.
Right.
Girl, I would
Literally.
never want to be somebody that has to verify the things that get looked up for these
Oh,
books. Oh my
listen.
God. Oh my God. Okay. Speaking of audio books, what's your take on that? Again, 10 years. That hasn't always been something popular. How did you
Yeah.
adjust to that? And it's in great demand because it's like my DM's Diamonds in here to represent, and these are audio book experts. Okay, they know the narrators.
Yes.
What was that like for you? Is that something that you've actually kind of embraced?
I did because I had to, in a
Okay.
sense. It's kind of funny, like how I got into audiobooks. I really didn't have the intention of having my work in audio. Never really thought about it. It wasn't. And I think for a lot of Black authors, we're always behind the eight ball
Hmm.
with a
Hmm.
lot of things. And there are some who have been doing it for years. Not everyone is always behind the eight ball, but a lot of us are. So there's some that have been doing this for years. But me personally, I just did not. So I can't listen to them because I'm a squirrel person. So like I'm all over the place. But so because I can't listen to them I can listen to an audiobook and then read the book, and it's too complete. It's brand new to me when I read it because my brain
Mhm.
won't let me process the audio. So because I don't listen to them, I literally had no interest in them, right?
Mhm.
But um let's try to say this without going down a crazy place. So my catalog was presented to an audio company without
Mhm.
my knowledge.
Oh.
And so I had to call and say, hey, like this person doesn't have the rights to give my books in audio. And so the person I spoke to said, okay, well then we're gonna not put your books up with that person. I want to do the deal with you. That is literally how I got into audiobooks. So it was kind of a it just happened. It wasn't like I
Mhm.
sought it out. Once I got there though, I'm like, oh, this is a whole new audience because I had
Mhm.
people. Now I
Exactly.
am this person. I am absolutely this person. I will never in my life. I'm literally like, have you ever read a Casey Mills book before? I'm never that person that's like, oh, I know they read my books. That is not me.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
literally these when I meet people, like that's my approach, that you don't know who I am, because in my mind you don't know who I am. So with audio, I had these people that were like, I've never read your books, had didn't know, but I have audio now and I am like loving this. So uh embracing it, yes, because I love the fact that I'm reaching new people.
Right. Right.
It's interesting to me because there's so many layers to it and so many caveats that make it complicated for us as
Mhm.
creatives.
Mhm.
The narrators, th- sometimes we choose, sometimes we don't. It's getting to the point where I personally can start choosing, but it's hit or miss with narrators. And there's some
Mhm.
I absolutely love and adore that readers loathe. So you can't, I'm not gonna say you can't get it right. You can't please everyone.
That part.
So that aspect I don't like, because I just feel like if you don't like it, don't listen to it, maybe read the book. That's fine. But it just is complicated and it's frustrating because the narrators are in this peculiar place where they're being targeted and attacked. And then the authors are, well, why did you choose that person? Or
Mhm.
why'd you choose
Mhm.
this? And sometimes it's simply because that's who was available. Y'all want the book.
Exactly.
So
You
this is
want
who we
it?
have. And this is, so there's, layers to it. I'm not even going to say good or bad. There's layers to it. There's
Mhm.
amazing things about it. There's some not so amazing things about it. But personally, I absolutely love the fact that we can gain new reach,
Mhm.
because there are people who don't read ebooks at all. They will
Mhm.
only listen to audio because they don't have the time. They're in their cars, their parents, they're, making dinner
Yeah.
while they're listening to it, moving around. But
Just cleaning up.
so yeah. So that's the only way
Right.
they can read our books. Read,
Exactly.
listen. I hate that argument. They just get the book, whatever they're
Ex-
they're getting it. So, but
And
yeah,
that's
so
true.
I love it. I love the fact that I have this new audience. I am a library baby. So when
Okay.
I started my reading journey, it was through the library. I come
Okay.
from that age where you go to the library and you lay on the floor and you get all these books and you can check out so many. I'm a
Mhm.
library baby. I'm not a social media reader. I didn't start my social media accounts until 2015 when I
Mhm.
published my first book, because it was, oh, you have to be on social media or you won't be successful. I
Mhm.
didn't care about it. So I came from an age where you didn't know the authors, you didn't reach out to them, you didn't communicate with them, you didn't, I'm a library baby. That's how I read. And so it's interesting to me now, this space that we're in, where readers have access, which is good and bad, but so when it comes to the audiobooks and things of that nature, I wish that they didn't have access to these narrators. I wish that they didn't, because that's their job, you know? And so
Exactly.
yeah, they're just doing a job, but I don't know. There's my spill on that. My
Yeah,
very long winded
we're
spill.
so grateful though, because not everybody finds themselves able to do audio. So we are Definitely grateful for it. One of our readers said they laid a whole vinyl floor listening to audio. Sis, when I tell you,
Yes.
I'm feeling you with that.
Listen, it's good. I just personally can't. My brain will not let me. Like
It's
I'm
made me
all
a
over the
better
place.
listener, though. It truly has, because of course, I'm going to give reviews, right? So it's made me such a better listener. I mean, I've pressed rewind a couple of times and say,
To
wait, did
go
he
back,
say
yeah.
that? Did he say that? And so that's important to me. And then I'm cracking up laughing. Sometimes I just want to hear stuff over again. I'm goofy like that.
Yeah.
And our Diamond said, even though it was not traditional how you came into the audio world, we are truly grateful. And like you said, there is a whole audience out there that has such a
Yes.
great demand for it.
It does, and I love that. Like you cannot I with all the ebbs and flows with it, that part, just that space of having that audience, I'll take it. Like it's just I'll take it.
We're going to talk about this speed. She said 2.0, baby. Listen,
2.0,
I'm
that's
not going
fast.
past 1.25. That's it for me. I need to hear it. Mm-mm. Uh-uh. Thank you, LaShira. We went through that. We wanted to sparkle in the back with these Christmas decorations, okay? And I'm gonna wrap up because I always allow the fans, the audience, those that showed up today to come talk to us too. But we're always hungry for what's next. What is
I'm
your wish?
Listen, I'm so all over the place right now. And that's, a beautiful thing that, I'm always still, I've been saying this a lot lately. I will never be bigger than the thing, right? And the
Okay.
thing is the craft. I am so humbly grateful that people still you want me to come on here and talk. Like
Mhm.
people want to see me. They show up at book events, they reach out, they discuss books. I love that. So I'm never going to become bigger than the thing to the point where I don't appreciate that. But with that being said, because there are people who appreciate that, I'm so all over the place. I'm juggling. I'm on deadline right now. I really want to be reading. There's so many books that have
That
come
part.
out, and I want to be reading right now and I can't, and I'm like very salty about it. I'm just like when I see people post, I'm like, oh, y'all really make me sick. I can't read right now. But so I'm all over the place. So I do have our Christmas project is coming out with the KMP authors, and that will start releasing Monday. My book will be first. There's 10 of us, I think, this year. So we're going back
Okay.
to Miller's Point with our cowboys. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
really excited about that.
But I
And I
think,
think yeah, I think that's it for the end of the year for
okay.
but the first quarter, Charity Shanae, we have another cowboy project that's coming out, full lengths. These are shorts for the holiday. Oh my God, I got so much stuff. I'm all over. I got stuff. I got books coming. How about that?
And that's all that matters. That we getting more. We getting more.
Yes, I
I
have
love
so
this
many books.
comment.
Yeah, so I'm kind of juggling a bunch of stuff right now. I have the last book to the collective series, which is Shadows, Dawning, Emergence. So I have Jonna's story coming.
Mhm.
I have the second book to my Assassin series that will be coming, and these are all going to be first and second quarter. So that's kind of where my head's at right now.
I want to take some of these comments, guys. I so appreciate y'all showing up. Bookie's book says, love me an audiobook. As a reader, I used to think listening to the audiobook was reading the book the way the author wanted it to be portrayed. But I learned that it's just as subjective. Love both.
Mhm.
For me, I struggled. I remember my first audiobook actually came from Love, and it was one of my favorite books by her. And she was like, yeah, do you listen to audio? And I was like, no, but I'll do it for you. And I'm glad I did. But at first, I could only listen to things that I've read before.
Right.
I've just recently learned to kind of pace myself.
With
Like
the
I said, that
new
2.0, girl, gone some way with that. I'm not trying to
don't
listen
like
that fast and that
people who
hard.
can do that at 2.0, y'all are serial killers, like literally.
Baby, That's some real special talent there because ain't gonna do it, okay? I swear, I always hear. Da, 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 da. I'm like, wait, what? First off, I'm a slow listener. Let's say that. And I'm a
Yeah.
NOLA girl, straight from the South. So you best believe we take our time with stuff. A little slower
Yes.
than most people want us to be. So there's that. So then the fact that you can listen, but just kind of, get adjusted to the whole idea of it being done. But let me tell y'all something. There's some books I absolutely will not listen to because in my mind I heard it the way
You
it was said,
know,
and it
right.
has gone away. And I mean what I say. Okay, I mean what I said. And oh, for those of you who have been late, throughout this, so we're getting a dark romance poly from Casey Mills. Now I will not
I
lie
don't
on her. She did not say
I'm about to
when.
say I don't think
She didn't say when, okay? 10 years, she
she
still needs a
she
little more
didn't
encouragement.
she didn't say yes though either. I'm pretty sure it was a strong maybe.
Real strong, okay? Real strong, okay? We got some comments here. And like I said, I want to jump into thank you guys about the decor. We appreciate it.
Yes. We
I
got
love
our
it. Look,
holiday
look,
cheer.
look at
Look
my
at that.
gold ornament right here, y'all. Tara brought me an Allegra one. Our little name is on it, baby. Can't tell us nothing. So Tara says it depends on the narrator that for the speed that she listens to. Um, some people you gotta slow down, baby. I'm slowing down. I don't care what y'all 1.25. I ain't going no higher. And I think most of mine are one. It drags a little. I'd rather be reading is a legit T-shirt. Readers feels that so hard, baby. Okay.
Yes.
She said, "Man, ice for." Let's see here. What else we got? And the dark poly romance. I'm telling y'all, we gonna keep speaking that into existence. Drea says, I love audiobooks. I have learned to adjust the book to get the best experience. That's key.
Yeah. And
John.
they're all different.
Y'all, she mean what she said. Serial killer. For real. Y'all, come on. 2.0. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I just can't relate to the whole idea of listening that fast. I can't tell y'all how many times I'll be like, say it again. Casey gonna have your head, yeah, yeah. Listen, if she just wanted some encouragement, that's what she came here for tonight. Some encouragement. She wanted to explore areas that she wasn't quite sure. Listen, is this water
Yes.
I can tap my
That
toes
I
in?
didn't know I
Absolutely.
needed.
I got you. Fear not. We got you. Part of the audio experience that is beautiful is the acting talent that delivered by these narrators. That's the part. I love the
Yeah.
performance. I love a good performance. Yeah, Tara, you see my A girl. Um, are there any questions for Casey, guys? I had all of the questions. I was ready, y'all. I told y'all it was gonna be an experience. When you have someone coming on your platform with 10 years, I don't even want to just know about what you're doing right now. I want to know how you got here. How many people can tap in tonight and get some inspiration and be like, and motivation and be like, but damn, she didn't gave me a little something to hold on to. That's the whole point. She said, I can't listen below 1.5. Okay. All
But
right.
I think those people, their brains work different. Like I do one
Wow.
point, which is very odd because I can listen to the Kindle voice. Like when I listen in my Kindle app, I can
Mm-hmm.
listen to that and it's like 1.2. But I think I can listen to that because it doesn't ruin the story for me. Like I'm not, it's very robotic. And so I don't have to try and process the feelings and all of this stuff or what that person should sound like is very robotic,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
1.25 is about all I can do.
That's it. Even especially like with my Bible app, because I got to get all of that. So we have a question about when some books are coming on sale. When are we putting the track commandments back on sale? She has a collection to build. And if y'all like me, listen, I want my books autographed. Okay, so you delivering autographed books, right?
I do.
Absolutely.
I do. I do. So
Absolutely.
I'm going to do, which I guess that will qualify, but I'm going to do an old school sale. I'm getting the books re-edited. Nicole's probably sick of me. But I'm getting them re-edited because I'm long when these books are long. But So I'm gonna, and I wanted to do it by the end of the year, so it'll probably be in January. So I'm going to put a bunch of my older books that aren't in print on sale.
Mm-hmm.
It'll probably be in January sometime, if not by February. And once I get those out there, it'll I'll just do it for a certain amount of time, and then I'm gonna be done with those for a little while because it's so many.
And you
And I
missing out
don't
all
want.
on these Christmas coins. We had all these Christmas coins ready for.
Listen, I have the year I've had, which is a beautiful thing. The year I've
Mm-hmm.
had being at all of these events, and but the amount of orders and pre-orders and books to have at the
Mm-hmm.
table, I think if Mark sees any more boxes coming in this house, he might file some paperwork on me. So
Okay,
y'all
yeah.
don't want that.
We're gonna slow down. We're gonna just stick on our dark poly romance, and we'll be happy with that for now.
Yeah, and I do have some on my Baventi site. I do have some books on. I don't know if Trap Commandments is on there, but I can get it on there. So I have 10% off right now because my holiday books are on there, and whatever books are on there, it doesn't matter what they are all 10% off. On not my the author Casey Mills site, but on my Baventi site, which is it's on my Instagram page. So if you go there, you can click on it. And I don't know who just asked for Trap Commandments, but I'll ask my PA to go ahead and put
That
that
was
on
Miss
there.
Fancy, right? Miss Fancy reads. She sure did. Um, so author A.S. Wilson is asking, who are your favorite authors? Who do you enjoy reading?
Um, I'm such a mood reader. Like I literally am a mood reader, but I don't necessarily have favorite authors because I'm a mood reader, but I have my go-to authors, who are probably some of y'all's go-to authors, like CCJ Love, of course, Takara Allen, Brianne Dene. I really love her work. Like I have a whole bunch of people that I read, like they're my comfort reads.
Mm-hmm,
I know their
mm-hmm,
beloved, I know their work, so I go back to it
mm-hmm,
because I can experience those stories and not have to be fully immersed into them because I can
mm-hmm,
start and stop because I may be on deadline or something like that and I know the stories.
mm-hmm,
So I have that. But I don't really have like favorite authors because I'm a mood reader. And
mm-hmm.
so my favorite author at the time might be just a random story I picked on Amazon because I was just like, "Ooh, I like that cover. That's pretty." And that's my new favorite author. So
Right, right.
I am such a mood reader. Like, and I'm such a mood reader to the point where I can be two paragraphs in and I'm like, oh, I'm not really feeling this anymore. And it has nothing to do with the story or the author. I'm
It's
just
all
like,
about
I'm
where I am right
so
now.
fickle. Yep.
Yeah,
It's so
yeah.
weird. But
I've
so
done that.
I
And
have
I literally will come back to a book weeks, months later and
and be
still be
like, oh,
enjoying
this,
it.
yeah, this is it, so I have comfort authors who are those ones that I constantly go back to over and over
Mm-hmm.
again, and there's specific stories from those authors. I don't really have favorite authors, which is, I mean, I guess that's the best way to say it because it just really depends on what I'm feeling at the time.
Yeah. Never have them charging you up talking about, yeah, she said.
Listen, but they'll say it anyway, and that's okay because if I said it, I meant it. I'm gonna stand on it.
Alicia, who I told you had just finished reading the
You could do
You Can
damage.
Do Damage. She says, I'm fresh off of You Can Do Damage. Will there be any spinoffs? She was like, I love India. And is it about now y'all know I can't pronounce these names. Abazi? Is that how you pronounce that?
For
Abifai?
Oh, she went deep. Um, so no, no spin-offs per se, but what I did think about, I guess that when because I write the books, and when I write the books, they're a different experience than when I get to
Mm-hmm.
read them. So when they were going to be published, because You Can Do Damage came out years ago.
Okay. Okay.
I think maybe 2018, maybe, I don't know. And so it's been republished through a traditional publish. And so I reread both books as a reader, and so
Okay.
writing them is different than reading them because writing them is always compartmentalized, and we're, oh, did I wrap this up, or did she say this, or what did they say a couple chapters ago, and that
Gotcha.
kind of thing. So I got to read it as readers, and I was like, oh my God, I love these books. I love these characters. I love these people. So in experiencing it the way you guys do as a reader, I was just so excited about it. So, spin-off wise, to answer your question, I really fell in love with Alicia and Darius's story. And I was like, ooh, there needs to be more about them. I need to tell their story because their story is so unique.
Mhm.
And we see where they are in the books, but I would like to tell how they got there and what happens after because of some stuff that they have going on and some struggles that they have. So that would be the only thing I could ever foresee writing with characters of that story. But as far as spin-offs, doubtful.
Mm. Tara says she loved the Christmas and the Falls Collabo audiobook. She enjoyed that. Oh, I love the thought of you reading Sakura. That's a do. I never knew I needed a duo. Okay. Okay. She went back and corrected that duo. So, y'all, we have had a night filled with gems. We have, I truly want to thank you. I've enjoyed our talk tonight. I've learned so much more, and I feel like that makes me appreciate the work that you're putting out there even more. It's like when
I
I'm
love
reading
that.
it, just having that kind of understanding of who you are and what your inspirations are when you're writing, and the fact that you're living this. I'm like, okay, come on, let me tap this a little bit. Let me tap this a little bit. Thank you, Lily. I appreciate you so much for joining us tonight, saying yes to BSB and coming on this platform. Don't forget when you write that dark poly romance.
Listen, you're
Want
going to
to
beta for me.
listen? What I say, I don't care what I got on my plate. We put it on the side because I want it.
And listen, when I send those first chapters, you can't be like, "Ooh, girl, we're gonna have to bail out of this." You're gonna have to encourage me to keep pushing.
Mm-mm. And guess what? I will. As a matter of fact, you don't know what goes on in his head. I might have some ideas. And here, take it. This is yours, okay? If we're gonna get this book out, all I want to know is, listen, when do we read? When do we pull up? As the kids say.
Listen, with that commitment level, it might take both of us to put that out. Like I said, I really don't feel like I agreed to that. I think you kind of bullied me into that.
I disagree. I disagree. I just merely tap your spirit to make it come true, baby. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Thank you, Casey Mills, for all your wisdom and knowledge, for not giving up for 10 years. Get that book published from your daughter. I think our young readers could really use those words of wisdom.
Yes.
Right? I think that's just so important. We don't have enough YAs out there. At least YAs
Yeah.
that really kind of help our kids, right? To
Yeah.
see who they really are. Why it's so important to live black, read black, understand why.
Representation.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. That's what it is. It's key. It's key for us, by us, right? So thank
Yes.
you again, and thank you all for joining us. Happy holidays to you and your family.
Thank
If
you.
you
Thank
add
you.
any more beauty in the back, make sure you send us some pictures.
Will do. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for
My
everybody
pleasure.
that jumped on here with us. I sincerely appreciate you.
Thank you. And good night to everybody.
All right. Good night, ladies.